What's up guys, it is the T-Ball and I am back with another video. So today we're going to be going over 5 NBA stars who have fallen off the face of the earth. So before I start, if you want to see more daily NBA content just like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, as I really do appreciate all the support. So it is definitely hard for NBA players to stay relevant once they face injuries and are out for extended periods of time. With all the excitement of the season with LeBron James going to the Lakers, Kawhi thriving with the Raptors, and the Warriors drama, there have been a lot of news that has taken up a lot of the spotlight. This has led to many players flying under the radar, even some former stars who were once talked about amongst many NBA fans. So let's go over some of these former stars who we have barely heard from lately. So first up I have Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas had a horrible 2017-18 NBA season, where he played with the Cavs before being traded to the Lakers mid-season. He was still recovering from a hip injury that hindered his quickness, which was what made him so dangerous on offense back in the 2016-17 season with the Celtics, and he just looked like a shell of his former self. Last season, Thomas averaged only 15.2 points and 4.8 assists with both teams, and he shot a brutal 37.3% from the field and 29.3% from 3. He couldn't manage to finish at the rim like he used to, and his outside shot abandoned him. But he wasn't only a negative on offense, as he was horrific on defense with his small size and now snap quickness, making him basically impossible to hide on D. He struggled to find any teams wanting to sign him to any long-term deals, or any deal for that matter. He eventually signed a minimum contract with the Nuggets this past offseason, as he tries to make a comeback. However, he did opt to have another surgery on his hip in March, and he hasn't played a single game this season for Denver. There isn't a concrete timetable for Thomas's return for the Nuggets, and even when he does return, will there even be a role for him? Well, the Nuggets are currently starting Jamal Murray at point guard, and behind him, Monta Morris has thrived as a backup. Morris has surprised everyone this season, where he has come into games providing a steady presence, who makes smart decisions on offense. Morris has a 5.7 assist to turnover ratio, which is just insane, and he has averaged 9.7 points, 4 assists, 2.7 rebounds, and 0.9 steals in 24.3 minutes per game. He's also shot 47.3% from the field, 43.8% from 3, and 77.8% from the free throw line. He's been a very efficient player that deserves big minutes on this competitive Nuggets team, and I'm not sure where Thomas will get his minutes once he is healthy. Thomas should not be cutting into Morris's minutes, and it would be hard to see Thomas and Morris playing many minutes together given that Morris is only 6'3". It's going to be interesting to see how much Thomas plays with the Nuggets, if he even does, and if he'll play a significant role for a Nuggets team that is looking to make the playoffs. So, next up I have Dion Waiters. Dion Waiters has disappeared for the Heat since the 2016-17 season, which was when Waiters along with Dragic were leading Miami back into the playoff hunt after a disappointing 11-30 start. Waiters was hitting clutch shot after clutch shot, and he had all NBA fans hyped when he hit the game winner against the Warriors. He was named the Eastern Conference Player of the Week in early January of 2017, and that marked the highest point of his entire NBA career. However, since then, Waiters has not been anywhere to be seen. This is because he has dealt with ankle injuries, and he had to get surgery back in January to fix his problem. This led to him playing only 30 games last season, and he still hasn't played a game yet for the Heat this season. This has been a terrible investment for Pat Riley, as he gave Waiters a 4-year, $52 million deal. Once Waiters returns this season, he'll be very rusty and there may not even be room for him in the rotation. Richardson has blossomed into a star this season, Wade is getting big minutes off the bench in his final year, Tyler Johnson has been solid, and Wayne Ellington has been a great shooter off the bench. There's a big logjam at the shooting guard position, and the Heat are going to have to trade some players away to make room for Waiters. And even besides the logjam, do the Heat really need another player with Waiters' skill set? They already have enough scorers and ball handlers at the shooting guard position with Richardson, Wade, and Johnson, and Waiters just seems redundant at this point. Waiters is also less efficient than these players, and I do think that Heat should look to trade him. However, the big problem is that Waiters likely has 0 to negative trade value, given his relatively large contract and his extensive injury history. So with that in mind, it looks like Waiters will likely be staying in Miami for the time being. It's going to be tough for Waiters to crack the rotation now, and this is a huge change from what was once Waiters Island in Miami. So next up I have Dirk Nowitzki. So where has Nowitzki been? In his absence, Luka Doncic has dominated and has run away with the Rookie of the Year award, and the Mavs are currently in the playoff picture. Nowitzki has dealt with an ankle injury that has sidelined him for the entire season so far, but things are looking bright for Dirk. He's questionable to play today against the Hawks, and we'll see if he's ready to finally play. It's surreal that Dirk has faded as the face of the Mavericks franchise, and there's finally a new face of the team after about 20 years. The hype around Luka, who I just made a video on if you guys want to go check that out after this vid, has garnered all the attention, and this has led to Nowitzki being somewhat forgotten about. But I'm excited to see Dirk return in what is likely his final season, and hopefully, he'll get a chance to play a big role off the bench as a stretch 5 who can help space the floor. It's going to be hard for Dirk to get many minutes though, as Harrison Barnes has played very well as a small ball 4, and the front court combo of Powell and Kleba has been great off the bench for Dallas. Nowitzki is too slow now to keep up with almost all 4s, and he could only really play at center. Even then, his defense and rim protection has dropped off from what it once was, and it's going to be hard for the Mavericks to cut Powell and Kleba's minutes for Dirk. But Dirk will find a way to get some minutes, and I'm rooting for the Mavs to make the playoffs as I really want to watch Dirk one more time in the postseason. Next up, I have Brandon Knight. Knight was once thought to be one of the most promising guards with his quickness that was matched by very few in the league. However, he had a few rough seasons with the Suns after being traded by the Bucks, and he suffered a torn ACL last summer that sidelined him for the entire season last year. He hasn't played in a single game this year so far, and he looks to make a comeback soon. The Rockets do need him badly, which is where he was traded to this past summer. Houston has struggled mightily this season, and they could definitely use a solid backup point guard after Michael Carter-Williams has disappointed when he has played. If Brandon Knight can come in for about 15 to 20 minutes per game and provide some scoring and playmaking next to Eric Gordon off the bench, that would be huge for a Rockets team that is very thin at both guard positions. Hopefully, Knight will play well, but it will take a good amount of time for him to get back into NBA level form. It's possible for the Rockets to get back to playing around near last season's form, and you could see if they can in person by going to one of their games. To get tickets, you should use SeatGeek, who is the sponsor of today's video. SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets, and using the app you can see which ticket is a good deal which has a green dot, or a bad deal which has a red dot for any sporting event or concert. It's an easy to navigate app, and it's a must-have for anyone who is interested in attending an event. Use my discount code THETBALL to get $20 off your first purchase when you first sign up for an account, and I'll leave a link to the site where you could sign up, or you could also download the app on your phone as well, and use my code to get the discount there. So finally, I have Chandler Parsons. Chandler Parsons is probably one of the most hated people in Memphis after he received a max contract and has barely played in any games. And when he has played, he's been pretty bad. In his first season with the Grizzlies, Parsons played in only 34 games, averaging 6.2 points, 2.5 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 0.6 steals, and 0.1 blocks in 19.9 minutes per game. He shot only 33.8% from the field and 26.9% from 3. Last season, Parsons played in 36 games, averaging only 7.9 points, 2.5 rebounds, 1.9 assists, 0.5 steals, and 0.3 blocks in 19.2 minutes per game. While he did up his percentages, he still barely had an impact for the Grizzlies when he was on the floor. And this season, Parsons has played in only 3 games, and he dealt with more injuries once again. He has certainly not lived up to his max contract that he first got with the Grizzlies, and he has barely played like a minimum contract player for that matter as well. It's not Parsons' fault that he was dealing with all these injuries, but he has been a terrible investment for the Grizzlies, who were expecting a do-it-all player in Parsons that was going to form a big 3 with Conley and Gasol. Imagine if the Memphis Grizzlies never signed Parsons and used that max cap space on an actual star, they would be crazy good. However, then they would likely wouldn't have been as bad as they were last season, and they would have gotten the number 4 overall pick in the draft that turned out to be Jaren Jackson Jr. But that's for a whole nother story, and currently Parsons has been one of the worst contracts in the league, and he has no set timetable for a return. And even once he does come back, it's going to be hard for him to find many minutes in the rotation. Kyle Anderson has played well as a starter, Green has been great off the bench, and Parsons at this point can really only play at the 4, given that his knee injuries have sapped most of his quickness and athleticism that he once had. He could possibly be used as mainly a shooter off the bench, who can help spread the floor, but besides that, he really won't be doing much else. After being considered one of the best young players in the league with the Rockets, Parsons has become one of the biggest disappointments in all of the NBA. It's going to be interesting to see when or if he will return, and if he'll be a positive contributor for the Grizzlies off the bench. So, that's a wrap. Thanks guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video and want to see more daily NBA content just like this, be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and also be sure to turn on post notifications so you can stay updated on when my newest video will be coming out. Also, follow me on Instagram and hit me up if you want to talk about basketball, business, or have any video ideas you want me to do. Let me know as I do try to get back to all you guys there. Drop a comment down below on which NBA star you think has faced the biggest fall off. Let me know as I do read all comments. I'm definitely interested to see what you guys have to say. So with all that being said, once again, thanks for watching and hopefully I'll see you guys soon for my next video. Peace.